Welcome to the Diamond Mine Podcast with Nate and Lenny, where we listen to all 92 Diamond albums certified by Billboard. Today's album is
Garth Brooks by Garth Brooks.
But before we do anything else, here's our news segment.
And welcome back to your music news. Ozzy Osbourne is to honor the infamous bat biting moment with 9,000 NFT bats. I don't understand NFT.
I don't
know
either.
why. I don't get that.
Somebody enlighten me.
Right. Rush will release their very own pinball machine. So I guess look out for that. I don't know. It's a collaboration with Stern Pinball. Yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, go for it. I don't know. Okay, this one's crazy. You remember how I said, I was thinking, who's the Beatles and the Bob Dylans of our generation? Uh-huh. And I said, Billie Eilish has potential to be there, maybe Taylor Swift, things like that. Billy Joel has stated that Taylor's like the Beatles. And he says that she is her generation's equivalent to the Fab Four. I am Megamon. I haven't got the forehead. Okay, and so recently, this one's not really news unless you just didn't know about it. If it's true, it might not be true. But the potato famine, the Irish potato famine, led to the Beatles. And here's how. So they were family groups from Ireland, like Lennon's, Harrison's, and McCartney's. And when the potato famine happened, so they didn't starve, they moved over to the Liverpool area. And then their descendants were the Beatles.
Brain explode.
Right.
Oh, this little kid.
No, a judge has temporarily dismissed the Nevermind album cover lawsuit after Spencer Eldon's legal team missed a December 30th, 2021 deadline to file an opposition to the Nirvana estate's request to have the case dismissed.
There we go.
If it's that serious, I don't think he would miss a court.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He's just trying to get a bag.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that Usain Bolt and Vin Diesel make music?
What?
There you go, look it up. Jason Derulo fought two guys who called him Usher. And there's a video on TMZ or something that you can look up. Speaking of Usher, go watch the last episode. But
yep.
Please look the video. It's so funny. And last but certainly not least, the Grammys have postponed their ceremonies amid COVID surge. So we'll see when that happens.
We spiking.
And that's it for your music news.
And we're back. So before we get into the album, here's our social medias. The Twitter, TDMPod, TDMPOD. The Instagram, the Diamond Mine Podcast. The YouTube for the face and stuff. The Diamond Mine. If you look up Diamond Mine Podcast, we should be the first thing that pops up. TikTok, Diamond Mine Podcast. We're on all of the platforms that we know of. We might be missing a couple, but we're on all the main ones that I think. Rate us, subscribe, follow, like, comment, share, all the things. And yeah. So let's get into this.
Alright, so Garth Brooks' self-titled album went 10 times platinum. It was released on April 12th, 1989. It is 10 songs and only 33 minutes.
So, this first song is called Not Counting You, Honky Tonk. That's not part of the song title. I'm just kind of prefacing.
It is Honky Tonk. I literally wrote that.
Yeah, Honky Tonk.
Okay, yeah.
We're having to find the songs that ass backwards way again, because Garth Brooks doesn't have his music on anything but Amazon Music, and so we had to look up cheap videos of it on YouTube.
But if they didn't have the videos, I would just play it from my phone.
Yeah, which is not ideal, but I mean,
whatever.
This is just a fun drinking song. The guitar goes ham. Dang, those lights are so bright. There's a certain type of song that, wait. I'm sorry. My grammar makes no sense. There's a certain type of song that goes along with a country song. I don't know what it is, but it's hitting on this, and I have no clue what that means.
Did you make the bed?
Did I make the bed? No. It was like that. Because you not remember I was like walling around on the pillows?
Yeah, but last time, not like the last episode, but I put the thing over the...
I don't know. Maybe I was messing with it. There's a single stroke snare drum on this that just keeps the groove going. It's a pleasant start. It's a solid song. There's nothing really in depth about it. It's just, I mean, it's a drinking song. There's not much really to it.
All right, so honestly, it's good to be back with a familiar artist, that familiar sound that we've all grown to know, and somehow it's some of our most successful episodes. The song was catchy. It has that honky-tonk bar sound we've been missing with a sweet little guitar solo, and that's as good as it gets. Next.
This next song is called I've Got a Good Thing Going. This is a slower song compared to the last one. Same single stroke snare drum. This one kind of reminds me of Friends in Low Places. It's obviously like different in plenty of ways, but I really get it in the chorus because like the verses like are these, I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say soft-spoken because they're not. They're, like, slower, and then, like, all the instruments come in, and they just have this, like, not hard-hitting chorus, but it's like, everything's all together, and we're all singing this. It just gives me that same vibe. But, yeah, it's okay. Country music isn't really my thing, so I don't really know, like, how to commentate on country music that well. I'm not going to lie.
Honestly, that's fair. So this is one of the ones we looked up on YouTube, and the captions were way off.
Oh, yeah, because they're auto-generated.
It was horrible, but it was really funny. So basically, as you can hear in the title, I've Got a Good Thing Going. He's got a good thing going, but his woman is kind of pulling away, and it's hurting him inside. You know, he's going through a slow, torturous heartbreak, I guess. But this is just one of those, 80s, 90s country sing-along kind of songs. Not much to it.
This next song is called If Tomorrow Never Comes. I know this one. It's a little sappy love song about dying and hoping that your woman knows you love her, even though you aren't there. The chorus is quite catchy with the repeating phrase of If Tomorrow Never Comes. This isn't something I would just listen to on its own, though, because I'm not into country music, and it's just depressing. Like, this is not like a sad song, but like it's just a damper on the mood, you know?
Hey, sometimes those depressing songs hit.
I ain't about that life, so.
You're telling me you never listened to Little Peep?
Little Peep.
Little Bo Peep.
That's not like...
It's sad.
It's sad music, but it's not... There's a difference between like sad and depressing, in my opinion. Like, depressing, it's like... It's a different type of sadness. It's a deeper sadness. Like...
You think this is a deep sadness?
Saying like, oh man, I'm gonna die one day. I hope my wife knows I love her, even though I'm gonna croak. Like...
Q Logic's, that's just had a hotline number.
I don't wanna be alive. I don't wanna be alive. I have that song downloaded on my phone.
See? It's different, doesn't it?
It's not really that sad. That song ain't sad.
No, because then it flips around and he's like, I just want to be alive.
I finally want to be alive. That's like the choir people in the back, like church gospel going on.
Yeah.
Wow, this one is off the rails.
Alright. So, Jimmy's lyrics told me, because they're so helpful, that Garth has stated that his ex-wife Sandy was the idea and inspiration behind this song after watching his wife sleep. Which it's clearly stated in like the first verse that that's what he's doing. That's what the inspiration is. This is one of his most popular songs. He sings it live. It's clearly, like Nate mentioned already, about the thoughts and love he has for his wife who is sleeping beside him. It has a nice build-up with the strings in the chorus, like Nate kind of touched on. And it not only mentions the powerful emotion of love, but also the regret he feels when he fails to tell the ones he loves that he loves them. It's kind of a different love song like Usher had on Confessions, which we touched on. Again, if you haven't listened to that episode, go listen to it. And, yeah.
This next song is called Every Time That It Rains. We had to listen to the live version of this. The audio quality is lovely, straight off of VHS from the 90s. He really reps Oklahoma a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just in this song, but just in general. Like, he just reps the set, which, go for you. This album's been pretty mellow so far, which I'm not, like, fully into. It just kind of feels like ho-hum, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not like Ringo Starr ho-hum, but, like, just kind of, we're just kind of trudging along. His storytelling is really good, though. That's something that I can appreciate. That's not really something that's apparent in modern music as much, especially country music.
I think it's hard to tell stories nowadays because people... I mean, okay, every song is a poem, right? And poems tell stories, but, like, his is very specifically telling a story. Like, it's almost like there's a plot line in it, and a lot of songs don't really do that. In that formula of...
But I was just going to say...
Rising action climax.
That's something that stays apparent on this song and throughout the album and continues on past the song and throughout all of his albums, really. He's a really good storyteller, and with a genre of music I'm not into, and especially like the style, it's slow. He still somehow keeps me intrigued because the stories are pretty good.
See, that's the thing, and I think a lot of classic country songs do tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That is one part that I like and why I like it more than some music today. But at the same time, I'm not a huge country person. I listen to it. I have listened to it. I probably always will, especially Dolly. But, I mean, it's whatever. But then, I mean, I'm trying to think of recent people who's, like, told stories. Taylor Swift has some songs that I know that tell stories, obviously. Green Day does the albums where they, like American Idiot and...
Yeah, like rock operas.
21st Century, yeah. I don't know, I can't really think of anyone else right now. But anyways, I don't know if this was Amazon Music's fault, but the title was a spelling error.
Oh, yeah.
Because they put every time as one word, and it's actually two.
Because every time is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, when we watched that live version, though, his very first note that he sang, he whistled through his teeth, and that made me laugh so hard. I don't know why, but I thought that was hilarious. Kind of like, I mean, we've both already touched on this, but it has that formulaic country love song structure, but the lyrics are kind of meh to me. They weren't my favorite, to be honest with you. There wasn't a whole lot of substance, unless that's like a real, true, to his heart kind of story, but other than that, it was a mediocre country song, but it did tell a story, so I can appreciate that.
This next song is called Alabama Clay. We took a TikTok break at this point, and then we had to watch another live video, but it was the live version was only 1 minute, so now we had to listen to a version on her phone. Is that rain?
That's a plane.
That's a plane. Oh my gosh. I gotta be flying, bro. It's another slow song. I need another peppy song at this point. His storytelling is so cool. I just touch on again that it's something that New Country really lacks, and that's part of why I just can't get down with New Country really at all.
It's all about the same stuff.
Yes. His songs are like actually about subjects, and when they're about love, they're not the basic just like I love you. Like there's some sort of something that has a twist with the love.
There's
like
deeper meaning.
Yes.
To it.
It's not just like a basic love song. Like he left the farm to go work in a factory, but then he comes back home to raise a family. It's just a decent song. Nothing necessarily stood out to me on this because I don't really know what I'm looking for.
That's fair. I don't know why I just thought of this, but you know, it'd be funny to have like an emo country song. Like, have you seen the guy? I think his name's Clay or something on TikTok. He's like, where he covers songs, but he sings like forcefully emo on purpose to be funny. I think he could pull it off. I think it'd be funny. I don't know.
What song? Margaritaville?
Wasting away in Margaritaville.
That's like more metal, but still.
And then I saw one that was emo medieval times. That was so funny.
I saw one that was the DK rap, but medieval times.
Ye olde monkey rap. Oh, DK. Donkey Kong.
I love that because it's like a bunch of, like, there's Gaelic and stuff like that in medieval times. Oh, good stuff. Anyway, Alabama Clay, Nate basically said everything I have, but all I can add is that boy got them redneck roots, but he wanted to fit in with them city slickers. He comes to hate his job and longs to go back to the farm. He finds out that he has a kid and goes back to the farm and back to his roots to raise the family. And he also, Garth Brooks didn't write this one.
Huh, interesting.
So
the next song is called Much Too Young to Feel This Damn Old. There's a little fiddle intro. This song feels like it could have got more peppy, but for some reason this didn't fill my need for a peppy song. It goes faster, but I really don't think anything but when he says, like, the actual hook, much too young to feel this damn old, is interesting. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's just genre or if that's the song, or because you said this one's popular, right?
Yeah.
So it probably is just genre, and that's why I can't really super duper get into it.
That might be it. I also Are you at the end of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really have much to say.
Okay. Going off of that, it is a popular one, and he does play this live, and I think his live version is better than his recorded version because there's a little bit more energy when he does perform because he's a performer.
Yeah.
Like, he's really good at performing. But I did note when we were listening that the song went by very quickly. I don't think I realized how short it really was. But going back to your genre comment, I think if it was in more of like a rock, even like a, maybe even pop or punk, like, it would have a lot more feeling behind it.
Probably.
But obviously he still has his meaning because, he's a songwriter, he does, tell his stories, whatever. But this one, basically, he's on his way back home, and he talks about he messed up with this woman, and all of his cards are on the table. He's been through a lot, and he says he's much too young to feel this damn old. He's lonely and doesn't have much left to look forward to, which is kind of sad because at this point he probably was like in his 20s or 30s or something. So for him to feel just like there's not a whole lot left in life to look forward to, that's the depressing song.
Yeah, that sucks. The next song is called Cowboy Bill. This song reminds me of like a papaw figure, just telling stories about the old day. From an album standpoint, most of his songs have had a pretty similar sound. The sound isn't necessarily bad. It just gets a little boring to listen to the same sound over and over, just in general. But his country isn't country that I can't stand. Like, there's some country artists that I just can't get down with. And for some reason, I just really dug the Dixie Chicks. I don't know why. But...
Well, we have him coming up again.
Yeah, his sound isn't that bad. It's just the same sound on this song as the other songs, to get more specific about this song. But freaking Cowboy Bill died. That sucks.
Spoiler alert.
That sucks so bad.
You know, when we were listening, you were like, he died?
Yeah, it made me sad. He was just telling his stories to the kids, and the parents were like, don't listen to that old hoot. And Cowboy Bill was a hero, and I will not stand for Cowboy Bill slander.
That's a t-shirt.
I will not stand for Cowboy Bill slander.
But only people who know the song or listen to this podcast would understand it.
Still.
That's pretty good. Hold on, wait. What did you say? I gotta think. Let me read your notes. Because there's something I was gonna...
What I just said right now? That all of the sounds are similar, all the songs?
Yeah, that one. Okay. When we recorded, we were both kind of tired. And for some reason, this, listen through, I wasn't really paying attention to sounds as much. I think I was just really out of it, to be honest with you. So I never really caught that throughout this album, which I'll touch on at the very end when we talk about ranking and stuff, but... I mean, every album is going to have similar sounds. I don't think there's any album that has, crazy diversity.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. But for the most part. Albums are all going to sound the same because they use the same instruments, the same people to record all of that. Getting back into the song, it's about a cowboy telling his wild stories from his days out west. He's one of those people that your parents tell you to stay away from, but the kids love him. In the end, the kids find out that Cowboy Bill is dead. They literally find his body. And he has proof of the stories he told and like how they were real and things like that. And like Nate said, the parents told the kids to stay away from, but the kids thought they were heroes. In the end, the parents ended up saying he was a hero, which
switch ass hoes.
So stupid. Like creating a complex here, but I like songs that have a plot. I've already talked about this, and this is one of those songs, I think. But I don't think I did like this song, but I don't think I would be able to really listen to it a lot on my own.
Bro, I dug this song. Like, until he died, I dug this song.
Yeah, there it is.
Like, when he died, that really hurt my feelings. But then when they were talking about the blue Texas sky, I was down with that.
That was the end line of each chorus, was the blue Texas sky. Yeah, anyway.
And we're back. So this next song is called Nobody Gets Off in This Town. It's not what you sound like. It's not what it sounds like, I promise. This song is definitely another honky-tonk song. I can literally picture people at a bar listening to this, singing, and like a little guy on the piano, like specifically a little guy. He's probably like 5'4" and really scrawny, and he's wearing like stripes with a button up, and he's just going to town on this honky-tonk piano. The piano really makes this town like feel like one of those ghost towns, like one of those empty towns that's just like 3 people and their dog, you know. It's just so like hunky-dory, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like
hunky-dory, but it's kind of like a sad, miserable song. Like
yes.
I actually really like this song.
I enjoyed this one. This was a solid song. This might be either this one or the one about Bill. This might be my favorite.
This one I think did actually have the different sound because it was more like, I don't know, like you said. Basically, it's about how nobody gets off the train when the train comes through town because, everybody leaves town but nobody comes into the town. The people there are miserable and nobody enjoys living there. You talk about like 3 people and a dog or whatever. It even says that the dogs are like mean and stuff like that. It's dull and it just sucks. And this is kind of one of those like feel bad songs of just expressing like you're sick and tired of where you live. You kind of hate the city, which I enjoy because like been there, done that. You know, at some point you want to leave where you're from, whether it's permanent or temporary. I think some people don't, but I don't know. It was just a real song with good instrumental.
This next song is called I Know One. This song is very short. There's literally 4 stanzas.
Yeah.
I really didn't know what to say. There's quite literally nothing special about this song to me. And I usually try to find something to say with songs, but this song just felt very generic, and that's something I'm going to touch on whenever we get to the 1 through 92 in a second. There's not even a cool story in this song to salvage this one, though. It's just kind of...
This one was, like, not his best work. I don't really think he has bad work, but it just wasn't the top-tier quality that we typically have. But it was one of his early albums, though.
Yeah, this is his debut album, I'm pretty sure.
It might be. I mean, it came out in 89, so... There it is. So that might be why. Basically, he's a fool for loving someone when they don't love him back, and says, if you ever need a fool, I know one, talking about himself, and mentions that it wouldn't hurt to keep a fool around. You know, so like your backup or whatever.
Yeah.
I did like his voice in this one because he didn't have that typical... like standard nasally-ish Garth Brooks sound, like my chords are... I can't do it. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Where he like kind of hits the high note.
It has like a very like almost yodel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like that. I was gonna play a clip, but if you want to hear Garth Brooks' voice, just look it up, I guess. But he kind of kept that like smooth, normal, lower tone that he typically like he has when he talks or something, and I enjoyed that. But last song.
This last song is called "The Dance." We watched the music video for this one. I knew this one.
This is a popular.
It's a
one,
very sappy song. Genuinely, off the bat, I'm gonna say this is not for me. I understand why people would like this song. It's definitely touching. I'm just not really into this, but I understand and I respect where you're coming from. The way he says the words, like the dance, it's really nice how he says that. He can honestly sing pretty well, which is something I've not.
He's always
said
been,
yet.
like in all of our albums, he's been able to.
He's got a nice voice.
Yeah.
But touching on his voice, during the music video, he has like little spoken parts. He has like very little Southern accent compared to his singing voice.
Because he's that Midwestern South. He's that Oklahoma. I don't know.
It's weird. Like, and when he's singing, he's like.
Yeah, when he's singing, it's a lot more
Yes.
Southern dialect than when he's actually just talking.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, that could be different.
Yeah.
Because we're from like South or
The mountains.
maybe we just don't hear it either.
I don't know.
Like it's a different accent, but sometimes I feel like I don't recognize when people have accents.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so The Dance, this is a popular one. He'll play this live. You know, whatever. Genius Lyrics said that it was written by Tony. I'm really bad with last names if you haven't learned by now. Arada, whatever you want. And is often considered Garth's best song, as well as one of the greatest songs in country music history.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not. The song is about a past relationship, but since its release, the song has been used for tragic events and deaths, which was shown in the music video that we watched. It shows Lane Frost, Keith Whitley, Martin Luther King Jr., John F. Kennedy, and John Wayne. One of the best performances of this song actually came after the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s, you know, when he had the accident at the 2001 Daytona 500 and broke his neck and it killed him. And he performed the dance at the 2001 Winston Cup, now the Sprint Cup, awards banquet in honor of Dale Earnhardt. And that's not funny, but I don't think it gets any more like redneck than
Yes, that is so.
like
that is American culture.
that.
If
Baby,
you
welcome to the South.
people that say America has no culture,
That's it.
what is that?
That's it right there. That's what we were here for.
Yeah.
Sweet tea, Dale Earnhardt. God bless America. Praise Hell, praise Dale.
I was gonna make an inappropriate joke. I'll talk to you about it later.
All right. Anyway, my personal notes. It's a beautiful song, and I thought it was a pretty good album ender. Basically, he sings about if he had known how things would end up, he would have changed circumstances, and he would have missed the dance. But he's glad that he didn't know that, you know, it was going to happen, because it's better to miss what you have than to not have it at all.
Uh-huh.
Is basically the point of this song. Yeah, that's all I have. That's all I have for that.
Okay, so 1 through 92. How do you feel, Lainey?
Personally, hear me out. I liked this album better than his last one or two that we've already listened to. I can't remember.
I think we've listened to 2.
And the reason for that is because there's less filler.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like every song had a purpose, even if it was minor. And some of his other songs were kind of like that.
Yeah.
Love, just kind of getting more time in there to make it a full album kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember where we put those songs on our list, and I meant to look before I came over. And where we put Kenny G, because we also talked about that, and I can't remember. So I would put it above those two, but I just don't know where that is right now. And now that we're pretty deep into it, I'm not sure either. But those are my thoughts.
I would probably have this below. I know I at least liked one of his albums semi-decently.
I can't remember.
I can't remember what the titles are. I can't remember if it was.
Let me look real quick.
Rope in the Wind or
We
Sevens.
did that one.
We did Sevens and Rope in the Wind. I feel like Rope in the Wind was the one I liked. Maybe. It's whichever one we listen to second. It's going to be below that one and above the other one. I don't know where that is.
Hold on, let me look it up real quick so we can determine this. I think Ropin' in the Wind might have been the first.
A word?
I mean, we can look up our episodes, I guess. But,
Just know it's most of my Garth albums will probably be pretty close in their respective placing, unless he has one that just absolutely blows me out of the water. Which, no offense, Garth or Garth fans, I don't really know if there will be that, just because it's not really like my thing. I've said that's not my thing like a million billion times, but I'm trying to make it apparent. So, Ropin' in the Wind was the one we listened to second. We listened to Sevens first. So it'll be above Sevens, but below Ropin' in the Wind.
okay, Sevens had Long Neck Bottle, How You Ever Gonna Know She's Gonna Make It, I Don't Have to Wonder, Two Pina Coladas, Cowboy Cadillac. Oh, that's right. We were in the first closet for this one.
That was like one of the first ones we listened to, I feel like.
Yeah, it was really early on. And then Ropin' in the Wind. Hold on. Against the Grain, Rodeo, What She's Doing Now, Burning Bridges, Papa Left Mama.
Yeah, I definitely liked Ropin' Wind better than this one.
This was in the second closet, right?
Yeah.
Shameless, Cold Shoulder. Okay, yeah, actually, I might change my mind. I might change it because this was a really good album.
Yeah, Ropin' in the Wind was pretty good.
Which is interesting because the album we just listened to
Is ranked higher on the
ranked
Billboard
higher.
albums chart.
Yeah, well, Billboard also didn't include all the Diamond albums.
Well, Billboard doesn't even freaking know. We're the goats. Billboard.
We know. We're professionals.
Yeah, we make $10. Anyways,
11?
social medias. The Twitter, TDM Pod, TDM POD. The Instagram, The Diamond Mine Podcast. The YouTube, The Diamond Mine. If you look up The Diamond Mine Podcast, it's us. TikTok, Diamond Mine Podcast. We're on all streaming platforms. Subscribe, follow, like, share,
Shout
comment.
out Germany. Shout out Virginia and California. And Tennessee.
Keep shouting. Keep.
We got a new state, Arkansas, Alaska. Welcome.
Hey, shout out
We got
to
new
Arkansas
country.
and
We got
Alaska.
new countries. It's Colombia and Greece. Welcome. Our goal, or at least my goal anyway, is that in 2022 we will reach all 50 states.
That will be pretty sick. Anyways, ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah.
This has been the Diamond Mine Podcast. We'll be back at you next week with Billy Joel.
Ye olde monkey rap.